We start this hour at Luthuli House. Pule Mabe, the ANC spokesperson, just taking questions, wrapping up a briefing there after a meeting of the National Working Committee. Standing by for you is Pelane Phakgadi, our reporter. He's been there through the afternoon. Pelane, good afternoon to you. What for you have been the main points coming out of this briefing?
Quite a number of points, of course, have come out of this particular briefing here. As far as the ANC is concerned, there is a committee, a prep committee, to look into the issues around the planning, the conference of the ANC, which is going to be coming at the end of this year, and of course the policy conference, which they're saying that it will come through around June or July. Of course, I could see the ANC spokesperson there just having walked about while we were just waiting to go on air. But of course, I think there's an issue around the Zondo Commission. You do remember that Gwermantashe has taken the matter on review, and he said, he will be taking the report on review, and that in itself, the question really that was asked to Pule Mabe is that are they not concerned, as the working committee of the ANC, are they not concerned about the posture of which senior members of the ANC has taken as far as that is concerned, because they are the ones that have been talking and, of course, very much encouraging the work of the Zondo Commission, and in that sense, I'm sure there would have been a little bit of disappointment. But they say no, not at this particular stage. Everybody has a right, and that right, of course, it's an inherent right. But perhaps just to give us a little bit of clarity, of course, and we'll also be getting into other details, the Women's League there. Let's first start here. You did go into detail around the Zondo Commission and the fact that although senior members have decided that they may be taking the report on review, that is their right.
Well, of course, we have over time restated our principled support for the Zondo Commission. We said so even at the 54th National Conference. We have been issuing statements supporting the work of the Commission, even when the Commission was engaging with its own activities. Even as it began releasing installments of its own recommendations, Volume 1, Volume 2, we've been noting that and again affirming the support we have expressed. We have called on our own members as the African National Congress that when they are invited to the Zondo Commission, they should do so and use that opportunity to provide whatever clarity that they may have on issues that are being raised. Safe to say that if they come to a conclusion that some of the things that they see in the final reports that are out in the public are matters that they might want to ventilate further on, there is legal recourse for that. They can undertake judicial reviews, which some have already expressed doing so. But that does not move away the ANC from its own position that it has always stated. And that position remains, it's affirmed again by the NWC.
Talk to me about the Women's League. There is a committee set up to look into the leadership of the Women's League. Last conference, 2015, the mandate has well expired. Are you disbanding the Women's League, or are you you will await the recommendations of the task team that you've set up?
We have set up a task team. That task team will have to really go into those issues, come back and then give us advice on what needs to happen, including just establishing the readiness, because some of these organizations are already busy with their own Congress work. So you don't want to disrupt what they could be doing to ultimately go to conference. But through the task team, you will be able to establish where they are and then say what reinforcement is required or what action needs to be taken.
Of course, as we wrap up, Pule, the cost of living in the country has gone way up. People who were earning 10 rands 2 years ago, 10 rands is no longer sufficient at this particular time, because it has to be cut across a whole lot of communities that you have to pay. 2 rands might be expected, might be coming through 2 rands as far as the increment of petrol is concerned. NWC, they had to talk about the cost of living in the country and the interventions that the deployees in government should bring?
Well, we do talk about the cost of living in the country all the time. Remember, this is at the core of even our economic reconstruction and recovery efforts. Because we are saying if we do not find some ways to give our people some means to be able to survive, you are most likely to also have social disorder. Because some of this destruction of properties that you are seeing, unrest and all of that, are not just driven by the politics of the day. it is also the social conditions that our people come in. I mean, if the price of petrol goes up, what you can expect is that the price of public transport is also going to go up. Now, the labor market, those that create jobs, are now going to be under serious constraint to meet increment demands by workers who now want to be able to fulfill their rising cost of living. These are the real challenges. These are difficult times. But the work that our government is doing is promising, making sure that they create packages of employments through presidential stimulus, amongst others, so that almost in each and every community, you've got people engaged in some work activity. Palani, if you stay in Phalaborwa and work in Phalaborwa, and you work in Namakhale where you live, it means that you don't have to spend transport money to go to work. Now, an interventionist approach by government, even the private sector, should be one where jobs are now localized, created where people live. Because if jobs are created where people live, you also remove the burden and strain of them having to spend a little bit more. People don't have to now leave their home state to go to the next town because they can only get work there. So we are concerned, and we are hoping that with other social partners, through a properly constructed compact, we can be able to get out of the situation.